One has you covered. WNEW News Time at the tone. Exactly 8:30.
All news, all the time. This is 99.1 WNEW, Washington's News Radio.
45 degrees and cloudy skies in Washington at 8:30 on a Wednesday. Halloween. It's October 31st. I'm Chris Barnes. Good morning. Here's what's happening. A big crash on the outer loop in College Park. It's causing huge headaches as you try to get back to work today. After the DMV dodged the worst of Sandy, the eyes are fixed on hard-hit New Jersey, where the president and its Republican governor will tour the damage today. We'll hear how things are getting somewhat back to normal at the airports. We'll check in with our Karen Adams at Reagan National. And you can cast your early vote again in D.C. after a Sandy suspension. A cloudy Halloween day and night, only getting up to 55 for a high, and later during the prime trick-or-treating hours of 5 to 7, expect low 50s, but with a breeze, it'll feel like the mid-40s. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 55. New York Stock Exchange reopening today in just about an hour after a 2-day closure for Sandy, and when it does open, it looks like it's going to open up based on the futures. 3 Orioles earned 3 American League Golden Glove Awards, and on night 1 of the NBA season, the Wizards fell to Cleveland. WNEW News Time, 8:31. First traffic every 10 minutes on the ones. As I mentioned, big problems on the outer loop. And here's Lisa Baden in the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center.
And if your alarm is just sounding, at 5:15 this morning, the crash on the outer loop was after 95 merges onto the Beltway in College Park, but before exit 28 New Hampshire Avenue. Only one to the right and one to the left get around accident reconstruction. Now, delays are expected on the Beltway from Landover. Everybody's stuck in between. That includes 50, 450, the Boulder-Washington Parkway, Kenilworth Avenue, Route 1 traffic, southbound coming from at least Laurel on 95, and even traffic using 29 as an alternate route. Delays before Randolph Road to the Beltway, because if you get onto the Beltway after New Hampshire Avenue, you will miss this crash completely. Some folks turning around taking the inner loop to get into Virginia that way, or heading up to 295. Inner loop delays for St. Barnabas Road crossing over the Wilson Bridge. Going south in Kenilworth Avenue into Northeast, collision is between Pennsylvania Avenue and Howard Road. 270 open, but delays are Father Hurley Boulevard to the Beltway, and a crash in the local lane southbound at Falls Road. That one's on the shoulder. We started this morning with a huge wreck in Virginia, northbound in Triangle. That was on the shoulder with delays out of Fredericksburg to get up to Garrisonville Road. Next delay is Lorton to the 14th Street Bridge and open. You can call the Michael & Son Generator Traffic Tip Line, 1-888-991 WNEW. Go to cbsdc.com, and on our homepage is the latest information of the impacts of Sandy on the roads, what's open, what's closed, and what the utility crews are doing. We'll have traffic again at 8:41 on All News 99.1.
Robert Half, the leader in professional specialized staffing. Their company was again named to Fortune magazine's World Most Admired Companies list, ranking #1 in the staffing industry.
WNEW News Time, 8:33. Time for you to get along. Beautify your home. A new home at the same address. Imagine that. Install Long Siding. Visit longqualityproducts.com. Well, the first Washington commute after Superstorm Sandy is quite a mess. A terrible crash blocking part of the Capitol Beltway near College Park. As we just heard Lisa Baden telling us, one lane to the left, one lane to the right are open. But that's not of much consolation if you're in that big backup, because it could take ages before you get there to those 2 slightly open lanes. We're following this one for you. And again, we are advising that you take the ICC if you can as an alternate route. The sound of wind howling on Rehoboth Beach just late yesterday, even though the worst of Sandy was over, but still a lot of recovery and cleanup going on. We know at least 50 storm-related fatalities all across the nation, 4 of them in our area. This is the sound of the chopper as New Jersey's governor was taking an aerial tour of his state's devastated coastline yesterday, and the president will be joining Governor Chris Christie in surveying the damage there today. Correspondent Ann Compton is following the president and joins us live.
The winds have died down, but you're right, New Jersey shore is still a dynamic disaster site. The president will be able to see some of the damage from the air. On the ground, he has two missions. One is to assure all the state and local authorities the federal government is ready with help. He's demanded that federal agencies cut through red tape and bureaucracy. Second, the president is eager to salute the crews he calls heroic, the police, fire, and first responders, the ones he says who have risked their own lives to save others during this monster storm. Ann Compton, ABC News, live at the White House for All News 99.1.
Now, of the 36 people killed, at least 10 of those were in New York City, which is just beginning its long cleanup and recovery. And one of those killed there, a New York City police officer. We're told he was rescuing his family from the rising floodwaters, got 6 members of the family up into the attic, but then he said he was going back down just to check the basement. He never came back, and they still haven't determined the cause of his death. Now, of those 36 people, as I mentioned, 10 of them were in New York City, just beginning that cleanup and watching what's going on there this morning. It's correspondent Aaron Katersky who next joins us live. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. We're down here on Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange, set to open about an hour from now at its usual time. It was closed for 2 days because of the weather. First time that's happened since the 1800s. We've met guys who are coming in, not just the traders, but the engineers who are keeping the building running on generator power. Many people who would ordinarily take public transportation have to drive in, and that can be harrowing because once you cross below 34th Street into the Fashion District and then the Financial District, that's when there are no traffic lights, and driving can be a little bit hairy. Some people speed right along, don't stop for anything. Others crawl, trying to make sure they avoid the speeders. So it's a little odd driving around. But the subways are still out, no telling when they'll be back. The good news, buses have started running again. JFK and Newark airports open on a limited basis. LaGuardia could take a lot longer. We saw harrowing images of jetways barely clearing the height of the water. From New York, Aaron Katersky, ABC News for All News 99.1.
45 degrees and cloudy all day today. That's the forecast. Could have a few scattered showers as well. Going up to 55 for a high, and then during the trick-or-treating hours of, say, 5 till 7 tonight, we're expecting temperatures to be in the low 50s. The breeze will make it feel a bit chillier, though. And then later tonight, cloudy skies and a low of 42. Tomorrow, cloudy, a high of 55 again, and on Friday, partly sunny with a high of 52. 40 now in Bowie. It's 39 in Fredericksburg. And again, we've got 45 degrees and cloudy skies. We're expecting that high of 55 today. WNEW News Time, 8:37. All over Maryland, Virginia, and D.C., long-quality products can be seen in and around homes, just like yours. Their popularity for nearly 70 years is testament to their tremendous customer service. Whether it be a long bath, long window, long siding, long kitchen, or any other long-quality product, you know you can trust that name. Their reputation is built on offering quality products with outstanding service at affordable prices. They've earned the status of being called an industry leader. If you're looking to improve your home and life, visit longqualityproducts.com.
Want to catch up on the latest entertainment? All News 99.1 has updates at 38 minutes past every hour around the clock.
WNEW News Time, 8:38. Millions of people across the nation still without power, including tens of thousands in the DMV following Sandy. The latest numbers, Pepco has more than 1,300, not 1,000, but 100 people still experiencing outages. So that's very good news. Some great developments in the Pepco service territory as compared to the derecho over the summer, getting lauded for it. BGE, still more than 85,000 outages still to report in its service territory. Dominion has 20,000 out, Smecco 24. That's just as in 24 there in Smecco's territory. Delmarva, nearly 8,000, and Novak now 2,800 outages still to be corrected. Now the latest from the 9 News Now, All News 99.1 Storm Closings Desk. The federal government open again today. If you're still in a bind, though, you might have heard already you can use unscheduled leave or telework. Most public schools are open, some on a bit of a delay this morning. One exception to the openings, Manassas Park City schools are closed today. And also a few schools in both Anne Arundel and Howard counties in Maryland still have power problems. So while those school systems, the countywide systems, are open, some individual schools are not among the open schools. You can get the complete list of which schools are not open on CBSDC.com. WNEW News Time, 8:39. Time for some entertainment news now with 94.7 Fresh FM's Tommy McFly.
Taylor Swift is the biggest artist on the planet. Her new Red CD sold 1.2 million copies in its first week out. Now, this has not been done in the last 10 years since Eminem hit the mark in 2002. The Detroit rapper actually announced subtly he'll have a new CD coming out as well. He was wearing a Detroit Tigers cap with the years of all of his last solo albums embroidered on it. There was also a 2013. It's a Halloween tradition that the anchors of Good Morning America and the Today Show dress up for Halloween, but that has been canceled in light of Hurricane Sandy. GMA was actually planning Ghoul Morning America with a big Times Square celebration, huge candy structures, contests, and more. And Octomom has also checked herself into rehab. For 30 days, she leaves her 14 children with nannies because she is addicted to Xanax, the anti-anxiety drug. Sources say she's in there to, quote, deal with stress. I'm Tommy McFly, All News, 99.1.
This just in to WNEW.
We've learned there's a rescue activity going on in Northwest D.C. at this very moment. Someone has fallen down an elevator pit. This is happening at 655 15th Street Northwest. We'll have more information as it becomes available here on All News 99.1. 45 degrees cloudy now. We'll have first traffic and weather next. WNEW News Time, 8:40.
Come to the All News 99.1, 94.7 Fresh FM Working Women's Luncheon and be wowed by Nell Merlino of Count Me In. And you'll get advice, including when to turn down a deal.
You don't want to get stuck in a situation where you're doing work, you're not getting paid enough. Who says you have to do that?
It's November 14th at Sequoia in Georgetown, and our last event, the Small Business Breakfast, sold out. So don't get left out of the lunch. Reserve your seat right now for $55 at WNEW.com/lunch.
WNEW News Time, 8:41. First traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the ones. An ugly scene on the outer loop. Here's Lisa Baden in the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center.
And there's a change now, Chris. MDOT is now saying that that's a fatal crash. That is now confirmed. Outer loop between 95 and New Hampshire Avenue. One to the left, one to the right, get by. And outer loop delays begin at Central Avenue. If you get onto the Beltway from New Hampshire Avenue to go west toward the Mormon Temple, you will miss the accident completely. Everybody in between has been stuck. One of the alternates is Kenilworth South to go through the district, and there's been an accident between Pennsylvania Avenue and Howard Road. Virginia, you had your share of problems out of Sterling on 28, but everything's gone now. We had two wrecks, one at Waxpool Road, one before the toll road. Nothing but volume for you now. Out of Fredericksburg, unusually slow northbound 95, but lanes are open to get up to the Marine base. It'll shake loose to slow again after the Occoquan River onto 395 to the 14th Street Bridge. Interloop delays are out of Springfield, getting up to 66. 66 eastbound slowing, Manassas through Centerville, 50 to the Vienna Metro Station. 270, I have to mention you. You're saying, please don't, because that means it's not good. I know. Southbound had a crash in the local lanes near Falls Road. What's left of that's on the shoulder. Mainline delays are Father Hurley Boulevard to the lane divide. Brought to you by the makers of Robitussin, the #1 doctor-recommended adult cough medicine brand. The liquid formula soothes your throat and contact, and the active ingredient relieves the cough. Don't suffer the consequences. I love saying that. We'll have traffic again at 8:51 on All News 99.1.
All righty. WNEW weather now and live at the Thompson Creek Window Company Weather Center. Well, 9 News now. Meteorologist Howard Bernstein. It doesn't sound like there's anything too scary in our Halloween forecast, huh?
No, just a bit of a chill out there this evening. It's going to be on the ghoul side, if I can be making bad puns.
Where's my rim shot there, Howard?
Thank you. Talk to the sound effect guy. 55 is going to be the high today. There could be a stray shower. We're seeing a couple of sprinkles northwest of town and southwest of town right now, even though we've got some breaks in the cloud cover and some nice breaks in the cloud cover currently. Highs about 55 and are mostly cloudy skies and a little bit of a breeze. Now, tonight for the trick-or-treaters, low 50s with a little bit of a breeze, so dress them like it's going to be in the low to mid-40s to be on the safe side, and you'll be more comfortable that way. We'll get down to 42 by Thursday morning. Thursday, another day partly to mostly cloudy with a high around 55. And by Friday, still generally dry and cool, 52. The weekend doesn't look bad, mid-50s on Saturday, near 60 Sunday with a late shower. And don't forget to turn the clocks back an hour Saturday night. Standard time returns. 44 in Annapolis, 39 still in Gaithersburg and Manassas, and 43 here in the district. I'm 9 News Now meteorologist Howard Bernstein on Washington's weather station, All News 99.1.
And as Halloween is here and the kids are getting ready to go out and collect the stuff, what's your favorite candy to get on Halloween? Take our news poll about that at cbsdc.com. We'll check Money Watch next. WNEW News Time, 8:44.
The happiest drivers on the planet are Chevrolet Volt owners. It might have something to do with how rarely they use gas, but we'll let them speak for themselves.
I'm never at the gas station unless I want some coffee.
Very rarely put gas in my Chevy Volt.
I don't even know what it's like to really stop and get gas. I am probably going to the gas station about once a month.
It can always be electric for my daily commutes, and if I need to take a further trip, whether it be 400 miles to go visit family or 1,000 miles to go on a vacation, the Volt can get me there with its gas extended range.
Typically, I go about 7 to 8 weeks before I'll have to fill up.
I fill the Volt up once every couple of months, and that feels absolutely wonderful.
It's the best thing ever.
The 2013 Chevy Volt. Chevy runs deep.
Available at participating dealers. On average, by charging regularly, Volt owners fill up only about once a month. EPA estimated 38 miles of EV range and 380 miles of total range based on 98 MPG electric and 35 MPG city, 40 highway gas. Actual range varies with conditions.
Find the lowest price at the pump in your neighborhood before you head out to get gas. Head to cbsdc.com/gas.
The News Watch never stops on All News 99.1. When you need to know, we've got you covered.
Coming up in the next 10 minutes on WNEW, among things that are resuming today after Sandy's departure, some early voting returns to D.C. We have an update from our Nancy Lyons in a moment. Also, we've just learned from the Obama administration, aides are saying that the president will resume campaigning tomorrow with stops in Nevada, Colorado, and Wisconsin. WNEW News Time, well, it's 8:46, so running a little bit late, but time for Money Watch. Here's Jill Schlesinger live at the Long Windows Business Desk.
Also resuming today, U.S. stock and bond exchanges will open after a 2-day closure. And now, way back when on Friday, the Dow settled at 13,107, S&P 500 at 1411, NASDAQ at 2987. With about 45 minutes to go before the opening, we are pointing higher, about 0.5% higher. Now, although refineries in the path of Sandy do produce about 6.5% of U.S. gas, economists actually expect prices to drift lower. That's because demand is likely to fall in the aftermath of the storm. National average for a gallon of regular gas is about a dime cheaper than it was a week ago. Early estimates of losses from Sandy are running anywhere between $10 and $20 billion, some as high as $50 billion. About half of that will be insured losses. Now, many homeowners who did take hits because of flooding from Sandy are likely to find themselves out of luck. Standard homeowners policies do not cover flood damage, and the vast majority of homeowners do not carry federal flood insurance. Good news is that residents in areas that are declared disaster areas could be eligible for federal assistance. Money Watch at 15 and 45 past every hour. Jill Schlesinger, CBSMoneyWatch.com on All News 99.1.
WNEW News Time, 8:47. Since 2010, Michael & Son Services has helped raise over $100,000 in support of breast cancer awareness and research. Call 800-948-MIKE today and schedule a $69 furnace clean and check to get your heating system ready for winter. During October, Michael & Son's donating $10 of every clean and check to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, assisting women in our community with breast cancer screenings and treatment. Call 800-948-MIKE or visit michaelandson.com for more.
It's not too early to start spreading the word to your office, friends, and neighbors. Gifts for the Homeless, holding its annual used clothing drive for the D.C. Metro homeless community. They accept all types of used clothing, men's, women's, and children's, coats, pants, shoes, and sleepwear. They also accept bedding and toys. You can start your feeder clothing drive today, then deliver your items from November 30th through December 2nd to Portals 3 on 12th and D Street, Southwest, to Gifts for the Homeless.
WNEW weather, 45 degrees now, cloudy right now, and it will be all day with a few scattered showers and going up to a high of 55 today. Tonight, Halloween night, will be cloudy. Down to about 42 for a low, though during the prime trick-or-treating times, probably low 50s, though Howard Bernstein tells us it'll feel a little cooler with the breeze. And tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 55. Again, it's 45 now with a high of 55 expected. WNEW News Time, 8:49. Well, we're now learning a major accident is shutting the Beltway down, and it is a fatal crash. Accident reconstruction crews on the scene now at New Hampshire Avenue near College Park on the Beltway. Now, this has been impacting your commute all morning already, and it will for, well, quite a while longer, apparently. Just 2 lanes of the outer loop getting by near New Hampshire Avenue and the I-95 split. We're following this one for you, both in the newsroom and also, of course, in the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center. A quick advice, use the ICC to avoid that whole stretch if you can. WNEW News Time 8:49. Sandy put a hold on early voting, but local registrars are getting back to business today. WNEW's Nancy Lyons joins us live with details.
Chris, in the district, early voting is once again underway. Doors open at 8:30. The hours will be extended until 9 o'clock at all locations, and these hours will be in effect 8:30 to 9 through Saturday. In Maryland, early voting resumed at 8. That was an hour earlier. Offices will stay open until 9, an hour later. Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell says he is confident that absentee voting will be fully restored across the state today. He has asked registrars to remain open for a total of 8 additional hours through Saturday, which is the final day to cast absentee ballots in the state. WNEW reporter Kevin Patrick, well, he was on his way to check out on some early voting when he ran into some problems. Kevin, what slowed up that trip?
I just heard from the newsroom, Nancy, we don't have Kevin on the line right now, so... But thank you, and thank you for your report, Nancy. WNEW News Time, 8:51. Lots to tell you about from the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center. So it's, well, a couple seconds early, but on a morning like this, it's not a bad deal. First traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the ones. And let's check in now with Lisa Baden at the Ted Britt Ford Traffic Center.
It's true, Chris, because, man, I could talk for a long time.
Well, you can anyway, but, on a day like this, Lisa... You and I are dangerous if we ever get together in the same room.
Very true. We'll start with, first of all, Virginia. 95 northbound crash completely gone near the Marine base, except for the delays behind it to get up to Garrisonville Road. Then you'll slow after the Occoquan River, basically to the 14th Street Bridge. Interloop Virginia delays for Springfield up to Gallows Road. That has not changed. 66 delays out of Gainesville are going to take you to Centerville, then from 50 to the Vienna Metro Station, and 28 at a couple wrecks out of Sterling open to get down to the toll road. Nothing on the toll road but volume for us. North on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, northbound. After 193, somebody tried to avoid the backup because of a crash after NASA, so they tried to cut through the median. I mean, duh. You're stuck in the mud now. Of course you would be stuck in the mud. The ground is saturated. Northbound after 193, everybody's looking at that. Poor soul. Then the crashes after NASA before Powder Mill. You stay to the right. 270-year stories only about volume. Father Hurley Boulevard to the lane divide. Nothing at the American Legion Bridge. Slowing on the Interloop out of Oxon Hill to the Wilson Bridge. Fatal crash outer loop, College Park, after 95 before New Hampshire Avenue. 1 to the left, 1 to the right gets by. The backup begins at Central Avenue. Call the Michael and Son Generator Traffic Tip Line, 1-888-991-9639. I'll talk some more at 9:01 on All News 99.1.
All right, Lisa. Now the Thompson Creek Window Company 4-day forecast. 45 degrees, cloudy skies now. Expecting a cloudy day with a few scattered showers. And we'll head up to a high of 55. Tonight, it will be a cloudy Halloween night, but apparently no real problem with any precipitation during the trick-or-treating. During that stretch of time, figure it'll be the low 50s and kind of chilly with the breeze. The low later on in the night will be 42. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 55. Friday, partly sunny, up to 52 for a high. And on Saturday, partly sunny with a high of 55. It's 42 in Arlington, 43 in Bethesda. And repeating that current temperature in D.C., it's 45 and cloudy. We're headed for a high of 55 degrees. Weather updated every 4 minutes around the clock on All News 99.1. WNEW News Time 8:53. This portion of the news sponsored by the most trusted name in mattresses, Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. Well, flights are back up and running at our area airports after the storm. WNEW reporter Karen Adams checks in from Reagan National Airport. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Chris. And I'm going to start out with some advice. Best advice, call ahead because there are still many cancellations on the board. Even book your flight before getting here if possible because you don't want to come out only to be told your flight's leaving from another airport, as was the case with one woman I spoke with. But it's busy again here at Reagan National as folks get on their way, many after being delayed since Monday. One pilot told me he's been trying to get home for 3 days now. Thankfully, he's now on his way. Just a lot of happy people here. Sandy now gone, but what a mess she left behind. At Reagan National, reporting live. Karen Adams, All News, 99.1.
A lot of us rely on our cell service, of course, especially during an emergency. You need to know that a lot of cell towers did lose power across 10 states because of Sandy, and the situation isn't resolved. You may have your cell service now, but a lot of those cell towers are on generator power, and there's some concern those generators could run out of fuel before the normal power is restored to those towers. 45 and cloudy skies in the district. We'll check sports next. WNEW News Time, 8:54.
An important message from Dominion. Hurricane Sandy left more than 200,000 Dominion customers without power in Northern Virginia. And we're working around the clock to restore power to everyone as quickly and safely as possible. We expect to have the lights back on for all of our customers by Thursday night. Dominion's priority is to restore service to hospitals, emergency call centers, and other critical public service facilities. Our next priority is to restore power lines serving the largest number of customers. Then we can repair individual neighborhood circuits. Remember, power lines are always dangerous and should be avoided. To report a power outage or down power line, call 1-866-DOM-HELP. That's 1-866-366-4357. We know losing power is frustrating, but we promise we will not stop working until every one of our customers has their electricity back on. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. WNEW News Time, 8:55. Sports time. Here's Frank Hanrahan at the Subway Sports Desk.
Chris, not a good start for the Wizards. They lose at Cleveland 94-84. Bradley Beal scored 8 points in his debut. Jordan Crawford, 11. He was the leading scorer for the Wizards. Anderson Varejao led all rebounders, 23. 23 boards, also 9 points, 9 assists to lead the Cavaliers to get the win. Wizards will host the Celtics Saturday at Verizon Center. The Celtics were in action as well last night, but lost in Miami, 120-107. Lakers with their new look with Dwight Howard, Steve Nash aboard. Lost, though, at home to Dallas, 99-91. Adam LaRoche, great year. First ever Gold Glove. He gets the award yesterday. Also had 33 homers, 100 RBIs. J.J. Hardy, Matt Wieters. Adam Jones also picking up Gold Gloves. Of course, they play for Baltimore. Redskins will wear those 80th anniversary throwback unis Sunday, hosting the Carolina Panthers. Practice later today for those Redskins. Marcus Johansson signs on with the Swedish League. He is the sixth capital now to sign overseas with the NHL lockout still going strong. Sports at 25 and 55 after the hour. Anytime at 106.7 The Fan. Frank Hanrahan, All News, 99.1.
Frank, at least our uniforms look better than those Steeler things they were wearing.
I was going to say, yeah, if you've seen them, they're classic, not like the Steelers, which just they look like they just broke out of the joint.
Yeah, really. Thank you, Frank. WNEW News Time, 8:57.
And now Geico presents 30 Seconds with Maxwell the Pig.
Hey everyone, I'm Maxwell, and my life is kind of awesome because whenever Geico wants to talk about their new mobile app, they're like, hey Maxwell, you feel like coming to the studio and talking about how the app lets you manage your policy, and get roadside help and even customize it with your favorite Geico character. And I'm like, maybe. Are there going to be snacks?
Everything you love about Geico, now mobile. Download the new Geico app today. And now Geico presents 30 Seconds with Maxwell the Pig.
Hey everyone, I'm Maxwell, and my life is kind of awesome because whenever Geico wants to talk about their new mobile app, they're like, hey Maxwell, you feel like coming to the studio and talking about how the app lets you manage your policy, and get roadside help and even customize it with your favorite Geico character. And I'm like, maybe. Are there going to be snacks?
Everything you love about Geico, now mobile. Download the new Geico app today.
I'm having deja vu. WNEW weather, 45, going up to 55 for a high today with a cloudy sky right through it and occasional showers. Tonight it'll be cloudy. No real problem with too much in the way of any rain tonight for the trick-or-treating. A low tonight down to 42. And tomorrow cloudy and cool with a high of 55. Again, it's 45 now and mostly cloudy. And there will be trick-or-treating tonight.
When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you.
There was some concern back on Monday that the superstorm could make area towns postpone it, but for the most part, it's on as expected tonight. WNEW News Time, 8:59.
Then you can monster mash.
Attention men.
Every day after you turn 30, you start losing your testosterone, the hormone that makes us men. Without it, you lose muscle tone, sex drive, sleep, and energy. Now you can turn back the clock, stop testosterone loss, and safely increase your natural testosterone levels, because we're going to send you a full-size supply of Eternal Male, absolutely risk-free. Call now, 1-800-400-6078. Eternal Male is an all-natural breakthrough supplement that's proven to boost your testosterone to healthy levels so you can be the man you used to be. It will let you regain the strength, mood, endurance, sex drive, and power from your youth. You can even lower your cholesterol. Plus, clinical studies have shown that men who boost their testosterone experience amazing results losing belly fat. To get a full-size supply of Eternal Male absolutely risk-free while supplies last, call now, 1-800-400-6078. If lines are busy, keep trying. That's a 30-day risk-free trial at 1-800-400-6078.
WNEW